Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I get the sutures and the staples. The staples are here in my stomach. Removed. It's been exactly 2 weeks since the surgery. In fact, at this time 2 weeks ago, I was headed over to Wichita to have the surgery. I'm feeling a lot better, but still a little tight right in this area. The stitches feel kind of nifty though, but to the touch, not to the head. But today, if everything goes right, I'm going to record the removal of the stitches. And so you guys get to see it. Unfortunately, of course, I couldn't record the surgery itself, but, hey, it's what it is. So, excuse me, I really hope that they let me record this so I can make this video. And if they don't, well, then I won't be making this video. So, hey, there you go. Yeah, really, that's about it. I just wanted to do a little intro as to what's going on. So, see you at the doctor's office.
Okay, let's try this again. All right, I went yesterday and had the stitches removed from my head and the staples removed from my abdomen. The doctor did a phenomenal job removing them, but for some reason the doctors I seem to go to do not allow anyone to record them doing their work. I don't know if they think it's a liability issue or just what, but so I'm just going to show some images here as to what everything looked like before and after, and I think they did a great job with it. So yeah, let's start off with the stomach ones, and this wound on the stomach is where when they put the tube down um, through my neck and over my collarbone and all that, they had to use a tool to kind of, I guess, auger it down through, and they had to have an opening for the tool to come out, or I would have been stuck with this tool in my stomach. And so they took that down out of there and stapled it up. The image shows that it's a little irritated. I don't know if that's from the staples being in there for 2 weeks or me playing with the staples after about a week or just what, but it's a little red. Not a big deal. You can see in this image that it was red before they took them out. This picture was taken moments before moments before she took them out, and the other one is just moments after she took them out. And it came out good. It was basically like if you have someone just grab a hair and just give it a tug, not any real pain at all. It was a good job. Um, and then let's move over to the head. You'll see in this picture, this is the shot in the clinic right before she took the stitches out. In this picture, I'm sitting there. My ex-wife snapped a couple pictures and everything because that's all we could do. There's no filming, unfortunately. And you can see the sutures in the front one and in the back one. The front part is where they had to open me up and drill the hole into my skull so they could insert the tube into my brain to drain the cyst, which has worked out great, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. In the back one here is where they had to run the tube around and down, and right behind my ear you can see a bit of a lump. I will use another image without the I'll use an image that with the stitches out that kind of shows the lump. I think this one shows the lump really well. That lump is a valve. I'm assuming the manual valve because the doctor never really talked to me after the surgery. Before the surgery, he was saying that he didn't know if he was going to use manual or electronic. He was leaning toward manual, They've never put anything up there to make sure it was working, so I'm assuming it's manual. The valve's job is to regulate the amount of pressure that is released from the cyst, so that it's not just a tube that's constantly, putting any kind of cerebrospinal fluid, which is what goes through there, down out of there. It doesn't let it just totally dry up. So it keeps the amount of pressure that the body is supposed to have in that area. And so, yeah, that's right there. If they ever have any problems with it, I'm assuming they will just cut along that same track to change it out. Yeah, the wound as a whole is, all three of them are healing up nicely. It's still a little numb between, well, right in front of the back wound. And I'm assuming that's because of all the stuff they had to do to get the line in there and to get that valve in there and that type of stuff. So it's got a lot of healing to do underneath right there. So that's probably why it still feels a little weird. But yeah, it's been, I wouldn't say it was a great experience, but I'm really glad to have gotten this part done, because it's just been so long of the symptoms that this causes. And right now, some of those are a little emphasized because, and this is what part I was going to mention earlier, or said earlier that I was going to mention. The next morning after the surgery, I got out of surgery like 2:30 or 3, I think is what I was told. And the next morning before 9 o'clock, I was down getting a CT scan. And the images before the scan, they took this one spot of it and they measured, and it was 4.3, I think, centimeters across. And the same area after the surgery, before 9 o'clock the next morning, was 2.9 centimeters across. That's a drop of close to half. I would say that's pretty bloody good. So over time, it's going to continue to drain it. I don't know what's going to happen with the tube, if the brain will just kind of accept that it's there, or just what's going to happen there. But all in all, it seems like a really good system, I guess you'd say. So, but I don't really feel that this is much of a video, so I'm going to do another half of this video outside, and I'm going to show you my garden. It's not the greatest garden, but it's the best one I've ever had. So, see you there in a second. The weeds have gone kind of nuts around it because I haven't been able to do much, so hasn't been any weed pulling. I paid some other people to cut my grass, and they didn't come up in here and get any of that. And that's kind of a good thing that they didn't come up and get close to the garden, because I'll show you that in a bit. But I've got here some potatoes. They're my purple potatoes over here. I've got several plants of those, and then over there just some, I don't remember what those potatoes were. They were just some that I had, so I planted those over there. I've never had potatoes just lay down like these have. They just kind of, you can see right here, just laid over, and they're growing like that, which they're growing really well, so hopefully they're doing well underneath too. So yeah, that's those. This little guy right here is a Great Northern bean, and he's got some pods on him. Not a whole lot, but I didn't expect anything from him because I had some beans in a bag in the cupboard, and I just happened to plant a couple seeds in a clear cup with some paper towels torn up and shredded down into it as a project for the kids I was substituting at an elementary school. Showed them that. They did the same thing. I don't know if they planted any of theirs afterwards or not, but mine are producing, which makes me really happy. It's kind of a cool thing. I have nothing through here except for my tomato cages that I never got straightened out and put up. They were ones that were just laying here in the garden when I bought the place, and so they're not in great shape. Never got time to get them straightened out and put up around the tomatoes. I've got 3 tomato plants. Here's this one. He's got a couple tomatoes on him, and this little guy has a couple tomatoes on him, and this guy has a few tomatoes on him. And then I'm trying something here. I'm trying to make hot tomatoes, which I know it's not going to work. But I've got a ghost pepper plant right here. One of, I think, 3 or 4 that I've got out here. Then over here I've got a cantaloupe. I just wish he was growing a cantaloupe. He's got a couple little guys that look like they might be trying to start. But, yeah, that's him. He's had a bunch of flowers on him, like here on the end. He's got several flowers. But so far he hasn't put a cantaloupe on yet. Then I've got 2 jalapeno plants here. This one and this one. These were last year's jalapeno plants. I had them in pots last year. I've got them. I was going to put them into the ground. I just never did get that done. And so they're just growing in their pots. This one lost his leaves and then he started growing them back, but he's got a few peppers on him, so I guess he's going to be okay. Then I happened to get some tomatillos, and not knowing how many you had to get, my ex-wife and I were together when we bought these. We were at the store together. We weren't together. And she was like, buy 2, because why not? And I did. And these guys, they take over. I mean, this tomatillo plant here comes all the way over here. He just likes to travel. And the other one is going off that way. And you can see all the little pods all over him. Both of them have several tomatillos growing. And I've never grown tomatillos before, but these guys look like they're doing well, in my opinion. So, quite happy with them. Alrighty, here's some more. Are these the ghost peppers? No, these are habaneros. Oh yeah, that's a habanero, not a ghost pepper over there. These are my habaneros over here, these 2. I've got one coming on right here. And a few flowers are closed up on them, so hopefully it means they're going to do something. Here's the ghost peppers, these 2 plants right here. Oops, I might not be showing them. I can barely see the screen because it's sunny. There's a ghost pepper there and a ghost pepper there. So, yeah. And then have a honeydew. And day before yesterday, I was feeling pretty good. So I came out and I noticed that all 3 of these vining plants have decided to go out through the fence. And I noticed while pulling some grass and weeds that he's got a big guy hanging. I was really pleased to see that. And I've got a watermelon starting here. See the watermelon? So these guys are growing pretty well. Let's go back inside the garden. And of course, this is the rest of the watermelon plant. It comes down along through here. And these are peppers right here. They're Trinidad scorpions or something like that. And what would be really cool, I know it won't mix, but what would be really cool is if somehow they mixed with the watermelons and gave me hot watermelons. But I don't know. These have a Scoville rating of 2 million, so they should make some good jellies. I made jelly with the habaneros, not from these plants, but with habaneros one year, and it was the best jelly I've ever made. It was awesome. I've got a stepdaughter who doesn't really like jelly, and she can't eat anything spicy, but she loved the habanero jelly. She finished off a couple bottles by herself, so I was pretty happy about that. And this is a pimento pepper. You can see I've got a nice one growing there. This guy, when I put the pot out here, had 2 leaves left. I couldn't get him to do anything. I guess he was just ready to get outside. I set him out here in about probably a week and a half. He started getting new growth, and yeah, he just kind of took off. And he's got that big pepper down there. He's got several flowers there, so hopefully he does something. Over here, something I've never experienced growing before. These are peanuts. Right here and right here. Like I said, my garden doesn't look very good right now, but I'm getting better, and the weather is a little cooler this week, so I'm trying to get out here and do some weeding and everything. But yeah, these peanut plants, they flowered within probably a week and a half of planting them, and the guy who gave me these has... Well, while editing the video, I noticed that the sound just kind of went away. And so, like I was saying, here are the peanut plants, and within about a week and a half of me putting them in here, they flowered. And the guy who gave them to me hadn't gotten any flowers at all on the ones that he kept from the bunch, and he didn't get flowers for probably another week and a half after that. And I just thought that was kind of amusing. So anyway, but moving out here, this little corn stalk right here, at least I think that's what it is. Looks like corn to me. It's a volunteer. Had I been mowing the grass, I would have mowed it clear up to the fence line, and so that would have been chopped off, and I never would have known it was there. But since somebody else mowed, and they mowed out here, that grew up there. And then I'm just so happy about that big guy down there. He's the biggest one of them, and it looks like there's another one trying to come out the fence there. So let's see if I can get him to stay on the inside. But since it's another day, let me see if I can find that watermelon that was trying to start. I don't see him right now. So anyway, I'm hoping to get some watermelons and stuff. But yeah, so there it is. That's my overgrown weedy garden, but I think he's pretty damn cool. So anyway, if y'all are enjoying my videos, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will try to continue to bring content to you and do something that y'all like. Trying to think of what to do with my channel, change it up a little bit, add stuff to it, whatever. It's growing but not growing fast, and I want to kind of try to figure something to help speed up the growth and everything. I'm going to continue doing metal detecting videos, but I want to add something, and it might be just stuff from working on the house or working on the vehicles, something. I don't know. I'll figure something out. So if you have any suggestions, please leave me a comment down there. If you want to help support the channel of the overgrown grass, if you want to help support the channel, I do have a Patreon page. It's Patreon/EvilStepTeacher. And yeah, I'll leave a link for that down in the description. And there are a few rabbits out in the alley. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one.